Hey everyone, this episode is brought to you by Cowboy Trail Brewery. Cheers to the West. This week on Bragg N Bout Business, we sit down with Karen Boudewyn of Core Financial Solutions. Karen shares with us some excellent tips for small business owners. Key person insurance, buy-sell agreements. What the what? Yes, we cover some topics that are often missed by business owners and family-run businesses too. Karen is a very down-to-earth person who is easy to talk to and who wants to help and protect families and small businesses. So listen up. Enjoy. Welcome, Karen, to Bragg N Bout Business.
Well, thank you very much, Greg. It's a
Excellent.
pleasure to be here.
Thank you for coming out. I know it's a bit of a drive. You're from the city of Calgary.
I am from the city of Calgary.
Yeah. So I got a first question for you is, if I asked you to check my balance, would you look at my portfolio or try to push me over?
I would push you over first.
All right. Good.
You're a tall guy, though. It would be difficult to do that.
I got little feet, though. I just fall right over.
Is that it?
That's it. Excellent. So you work with Core Wealth Solutions.
Correct.
Explain how you ended up working for Core.
Well, I met the principal at another firm. And when he moved out and started the business in Red Deer, he asked me to hop on and be the representative in Calgary.
Nice.
And I took that opportunity. That was about 2-3 years now.
Fantastic.
And it's been working out very well. So we're an independent firm that does full financial planning.
Okay.
And we work with accounting firms and lawyer firms to partner with them. And then also individual wealth planning for individuals and businesses.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So that the accounting and the lawyer, that's a bit of a specialty then.
It is, yes. I mean, when we look at these complex cases, when we're working with business owners or corporations, there's a lot of finite details that wrap around how they've structured their business and what does their financial statements look like and how complex is that, and to integrate those two main aspects into future financials. So for instance, the accountant works in the past, the lawyer works in the present, and the financial advisor works in the future.
That's an interesting take on that.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. So who's more fun to work with, lawyers or accountants?
Well, anyone that works with me has a good time.
That's a great answer. Yeah.
Sure. Well, you know what? It all depends on what we're working with. I always find I get to learn something new.
Right.
Because every person is unique and every situation is unique. Yeah. And it's ever evolving.
No kidding. I'm sure they both have interesting stories to tell.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of interesting stuff, right?
So we'll come back and talk a little bit more Core.
Sure.
But you are not originally from Calgary. You migrated out here from the West Coast.
We did. Yes. From Victoria, BC.
Beautiful place.
It's beautiful. Yes, indeed. Yes.
Exactly. So how long have you been in Calgary then?
For 9 years now.
Oh, wow. Okay. So that's a good time.
We love it here.
Yeah.
So part of my commitment to moving out to Calgary for my family and friends was that I would go back quarterly. And I do have clients in Victoria.
Makes sense.
So it works out really, really well.
Yeah.
In the last couple of years, we have unfortunately lost my dad, and then we lost my mom last year.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
But my in-laws are still there, friends are still there, so I still have that commitment, and it's part of my cycle of zipping out to Victoria, which gives me a nice balance, to be here in the mountains and then be with the ocean, and it's great flow. But we love it here in Calgary. Yeah. We wouldn't move back, and we find there's such an entrepreneurial spirit. And people are all, I think it's the attitude that I really love.
Is that right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like, hey, how can I help you? What can I do for you to make your life a little easier? I'm like, I love these people. Right?
That is a nice place to come to.
It's true.
Yeah, exactly. So Core, how old is Core? How long has it been around?
It has been around for 4 years.
4 years. Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
so
yes.
So you got in it right at the ground floor.
Yes, I sure did.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
And Colin Noble is the principal for that.
Okay. Yeah. Excellent. And starting, a financial services business and acquiring clientele isn't an easy thing to do.
No.
So what were some of the challenges you had to overcome starting in the business?
Well, you have to meet people.
Sure.
And I do that pretty well. Yeah. I meet them, I befriend them, and then we're friends.
You're not shy, I can tell you that. No.
No. No, I meet them and we become friends, and then I realized after about a year or 2, like, okay, maybe we do business first and then the friendship comes later.
Right.
So that's been an evolution for me because that's just naturally who I am,
Of course.
and I have this great propensity to want to be curious with people.
Yeah.
Tell me more. What else do you wanna know? What can I tell you? Um, and we get to learn together.
Yes.
And
And that's an
that's
important thing because if you're dealing with finances, some people have a tendency of wanting to hold that information very close, even if they're starting to work with you. You kind of need to know the whole story behind them, right? What's happened in their past, what's happening right now, what do they want to do in the future? You got to kind of cover all that
absolutely.
territory.
All of that territory. It's very emotional
Yeah, very much so.
and it's very confidential.
Yes,
And, that's actually the way that I start many of my conversations. Anything we talk about here is confidential and will go away, will not be shared with anyone.
right.
And even though that is a presumption, I really like to put it out there. And wow, I get a lot of information and it's not just about the financial side of
I
things.
can imagine. Yes,
I know that I'm never going to share.
that's right. Yeah, you're a
So,
therapist.
yeah. Well, money, there's a lot of emotional
Yeah,
tragedy, stress, anxiety.
divorces.
Oh, all
Oh,
of that.
yeah,
Yeah, there's lots of there's divorces, there's loss of life, when someone
true.
you know and love passes away, and how does that all roll out?
Yes,
And that is something that when I work with clients, we talk about those really serious factors like do you have a will? Do you have a power of attorney? Do you have a personal directive? Those to me are essentials. And a lot of people say, "Oh, I don't really have anything. I don't really need that. I don't have children." I'm like, all the more reason.
yeah,
All the more reason for your wishes to
absolutely.
transcend you.
How do you handle that when somebody, because death is not an easy topic to discuss. Some are more open to it than others.
True.
But how do you address that when somebody doesn't even want to acknowledge their vulnerability to not being here anymore?
It's pretty tricky,
It's tricky.
actually.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
It
thread the
is.
needle.
Well, it is. It is threading the needle.
Yeah.
It's more about what their wishes are. So, if something were to happen, if you're in a car accident or something and you're just incapacitated and you can't do certain things,
Good.
what would you want?
Yeah.
What I really find is it's family first and having that transparency. What would your kids think about this particular situation? Or what would your parents think about this situation? So bringing in that whole family unit into that thought process, because again, that's where most people's emotional ties are,
Yeah.
positively and sometimes not so positively,
Very true. Very
right?
true.
So for them to honor the people in their life or to respect them.
Hmm.
So the same goes for a business. We have succession
Yes.
planning in businesses, and just like we would have estate planning for the personal side.
Yeah. That must be difficult for an entrepreneur because you work with small business and entrepreneurs.
Mhm.
They're so focused on the business, having looking after their partner or their family's interests in case something does happen to them. That must be a difficult obstacle to overcome too.
It really is. It
Yeah.
really is. But we can do things in advance. And
Right.
and that's part of the conversation that I have with clients is what documents do we need on the business side? Is that a buy-sell agreement if you're in a
Right.
partnership? USA for a partnership.
Right.
Because when I work with people, they say, "Well, our business is perfect. Like
Hmm.
we get along great." And I said, "This is the time that we want to make these agreements. This is
Exactly.
the time. Like,
Yes.
you don't worry about things on your honeymoon,
Yeah.
but 10 years down the road when things sometimes they do disintegrate, it happens.
It's all it takes is one bad argument.
Yeah, it's nobody's fault,
Yeah.
but it just sometimes happens.
Yeah.
So what I do is I work to protect clients for those situations. And there's a number of different ways, everything from different insurance, there's contracts, but you don't know to do it until someone says, "Hey,
Right.
this is something to do."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So for maybe those small business owners that aren't familiar with buy sell agreements, key person insurance, maybe can you explain a little bit of that for the audience?
Sure. So a key person insurance is devised for a key person in the company. So that could be the owner, it could be a director that has uh, part of the operations. It could be your operations manager. If something were to happen to them, whether they got sick, or if they passed away, that there would be money that would flow back into the company to so that they could succeed going forward. They could hire another person. They could manage through that difficult time where they didn't have that person. And it's an emotional time when something that disruptive happens.
Absolutely.
And we think, yeah, business as usual. It's not.
Very
Like,
difficult.
when we're emotionally traumatized, and we do get emotionally traumatized, I've been through it.
For sure.
It takes us time to get clarity. We get that brain fog, and once we get through that period of time, then we can make a little bit more concise decisions. So it gives us that flexibility. And a buy-sell agreement is if somebody dies, we can buy out that partner
Right.
with the funds that are inside of the company.
Yeah.
Or if that person gets sick, same sort of thing.
Sure.
And that's more of the partnership.
Yes, because you might like your partner, but their family might be a completely different story that might inherit their share of the business.
Absolutely. And I have been through that. My previous life to this was in venture capital, corporate finance in Victoria. And that's exactly what happened. We had funded this company. We had put in $3 million. We were a 49% shareholder. The two main shareholders owned 51% jointly. Well, one of them came into our office one day and said, "Look, I hate to tell you this, but I have a brain tumor."
Oh, my goodness.
I know. First off, like, this can't be real. This isn't real.
Right.
And we said, "Okay, well, what can we do for you?" And so we put 2 checks on him to finish off the technology. And it was about 95% of the way done. And he passed quite quickly. It was about 6 months.
My goodness.
At the time, we didn't know. Like, sometimes you just learn these things. You get going, you're like, "Yeah, this is great. We're making business and everything's
Tunnel
rolling."
vision.
Well, it is, because we didn't know otherwise. And so exactly that. The kids came in and said, "Hey, we're now your new partner." And so the other shareholder was somewhat distraught because they didn't get along.
Sure.
And they were older kids.
Yeah.
And he said, "Don't worry. I've got this. I'm going to California. We're going to sell this IP and everything's going to be great. Everybody's going to get their money back." Well, he flew to California, and that night he had a heart attack and he died.
Goodness.
What are the chances?
Oh.
It was a shocking endeavor. Anyway, then his kids came in and nobody got along, and they literally tore apart the office, and they took all the furniture and the IP. Everything was crazy.
My God.
And we had no recourse as putting forth the money.
Yeah.
So most of our investors at the time were sophisticated investors. They said, "Great, we'll take the loss," because they had obviously some gains to go against that.
Yeah.
But that was a terrible situation. I really took that personal. And yeah, so that was about 5 years before I got into financial planning and realized, oh, that's what I need to do. It's not an expensive endeavor. It's just having the knowledge.
Yeah.
Just knowing what you need, knowing how to mitigate that risk.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So that's probably kind of like your origin story for how you really found your passion for helping people in this way.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really do. I love it. I love giving people the gems that they put in their pocket, they pull out and go, "I know that."
Yeah.
It's awesome.
That is good.
Yeah.
That is good. But Bragg Creek, kind of bring it closer to, because this is a Bragg Creek based podcast on local business. What do you think about the local business climate around here? You spent a little bit of time.
I love it.
Right?
Well, we come out here, we go hiking, we go biking, I go cross country skiing.
We're Calgary's backyard.
Yeah, it's Calgary's backyard.
Yeah.
So, like, you come out here for this nice reprieve. And then, of course, you always go through the shops and you eat and you drink and you buy books.
You buy books. Yes, thank you.
And it's really fabulous. And when we have guests, and we have a lot of guests because, we're the people that moved away.
That's true.
We take them all out here.
You're the tour guide.
Part of the tour.
Yeah, that's right.
It's part of the tour.
Well, I was actually talking to somebody last night about at the local Chamber of Commerce meeting about, the highway going to Canmore and Banff. That was just so incredibly busy. Yeah. It's an hour drive roughly, but that can easily double on a long weekend.
Yeah.
This is 20, 25 minutes from the city's edge.
That's right.
And easy drive.
It's an easy drive.
Yeah.
Especially now with the new Stony.
Yeah.
You can just take the Stony and then come on in. I'm going to take the long route home today because it's so beautiful and all the trees are changing colors. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah. No, exactly. So yeah, if if you're interested in working with local businesses around here as well.
I would love to.
Yeah,
That is one differentiator that I have is I'm not a bank, we're independent, and I make house calls.
that's nice.
It's like the good old-fashioned days,
Yeah.
right?
That personal
And
touch.
well, it is about a personal touch.
Yeah.
When it comes to your finances, I get it. I work with a lot of people that are really busy, and I'm good to meet at 5 o'clock in the morning and talk. I know nobody really wants to talk about
Right?
finances at
That's
5,
a
but I
slap in the
do.
face in the morning.
Well, but sometimes that's the only time there is,
Sure. Yeah.
or in the evenings or on the weekends.
Yeah.
It's that is where I feel that the people that I work with, that's the only time they have.
Yeah.
And so I'm
Yeah.
happy to be part of their financial journey and reaching their goals and identifying what is important to them because it's not just about the money. Money, I have this wheel, it's the 6 priorities of wealth. So those priorities are, yes, it's financial wealth, but there's also time wealth.
Yeah.
There's there's mental wealth, there's spiritual wealth, there's social wealth and family wealth. And all of these aspects, physical wealth. That's a really important one. If you're not physically well,
Yes.
and people that live in Bragg Creek, they live in the mountains.
That's
Like
right.
we're well close to the mountains, and that is part of their priority is
Yes.
the fact that they want to be physically active. They want more of that time. They want to work hard. There's no question, but they also want to play hard.
Yeah.
And so I will fit in with that timing for them to strategize so that they have that plan. So, these entrepreneurs and business owners, I would say they probably have a financial or a business plan that they're working towards.
Hmm.
And if they don't, then we would work through that. And then creating a financial plan around that so that they've got that goal and they understand where they want to win and what time frame they want to win.
Right. Oh, that sounds very reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah. As far as partnerships go, so you're dealing with the financial side of it, but there's legal aspects, there's tax information. So do you have a network that you refer to as well?
Yes, we do. Yeah.
Okay, that's handy.
Yes, we do in
Yeah.
Calgary and Red Deer. And I meet different accountants from time to time. We go through a vetting process.
Oh, very good.
Yeah,
Okay,
and lawyers for that matter.
excellent. What's something that you wish your customers knew about your profession that maybe me misunderstood or not quite grasp?
Okay, you don't have to have $1 million to have a conversation.
That's true.
That's a big part. People
You just have to want to get to
they
$1 million,
well,
right?
that's exactly right. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not about the destination. It's about the journey. So it's about establishing um, those benchmarks to get to the end where you want to be. I mean, the end isn't really the best place because that's the estate
That's
plan.
when you're out of money. No.
Well, yeah, if you do it right, right? You make all this
Yeah,
money, you do all the things that
that's
you
right.
want, you get
Yeah.
through all of that bucket list and then that's where it ends up. But it's about establishing and setting those goals and setting that financial plan. And that life plan, because
Yeah.
really a lot of it is about that. I mean, I do write a newsletter, and the newsletter, I don't just necessarily talk about what is the economics of what's going on in Canada or your investment portfolio. I talk about gratitude and how does that affect
Mm,
your financial
yeah.
future. I talk about exploring and the curiosity of what you want to do in your present life and in your future life. Careers, redirection in family, all of these things. Alignment matters. Are
Hmm.
you doing something that you're aligned with? And we try to make sure that your financial portfolio is also aligned with what you would like
Sure.
and what you want. It's not all savings, it's that combination.
Yeah.
So, and this all of these things are all about your core values,
Yeah. No, that
right?
makes sense.
Yeah, because then you have buy-in,
100%.
right?
100%. I'm sure in today's world too, when you talk about people's finances, I mean the ease of making, I'm going to say, dumb purchases and the discipline that can come with establishing a financial plan, that must be a more difficult conversation to have with people too.
Really?
No? Okay.
No, it's not. I mean, it's just identifying what they want and why.
Yeah.
If Amazon is a problem,
Right?
well, we just talk about, well, why is that? What are you needing?
Yeah.
What's missing? And then you can establish, I don't want to say rules because they're not rules, priorities.
Priorities. That's a good way to put it.
Priorities.
Yes.
Yeah, short-term priorities. And then I set these little games. Okay, this
Gamification of
Monday,
financial services. Yeah.
well, it's true. It's true, and it depends on the people and what sort of thing that works for them. But yeah, that game of and being present with who you are. Like, do you need to have this widget from Amazon, or
Right.
is it just because you want to make yourself feel good? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. Do you want the temporary enjoyment now, or do you
Yeah.
want it to pay off later?
That's right. So, what are those bigger goals? So, figuring out what those goals are. And to figure out what those goals are, it's also understanding what are your personal values. And I actually have a whole process on that, on figuring out what are those values. Are your values your family? Are your values being authentic? Are your values being present? Like, is it education? What are they? And once we establish those, it seems to really refine the decision making process.
That would, for
Yeah.
sure. So your ideal customer or client, I should say, really covers a wide spectrum of people because you're working with business owners, you're working with young people, I'm imagining as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, because it's intergenerational.
Sure. So there's no particular stage of life. You're just here to help people.
I
Well,
would
okay.
say from 35 to 55 year
That's your
olds, I find that I really work a lot with them
okay.
because they're on this grow. They're on this holy cow, everything is happening, all the big purchases.
Right?
The house is happening.
Yeah.
What kind of car should I get? What's
Hmm.
the best way to do this? I want a new car because I don't want to have problems when we have a discussion on, is that really the best
Right.
given your situation? And,
Totally.
have a bigger conversation as opposed to a knee jerk reaction to these things. They're having kids, they're
Yes.
getting married, they're getting divorced. Their parents are getting older.
Hmm.
So there might be resources that are going there. And meanwhile, their kids are now getting to university. So right in that gauntlet between 35 and 55, they're also making the most amount of money
That's right.
than they will most
Those are
of
the
them.
earning years.
They are the
Yeah.
earning years. Yeah. So I do find I work a lot with them. And like I say, it's if you've proven to yourself that you wanna save and your future self is important, that's who I like to work with.
That's right. That's what
Because
I always say. I like to pay future Greg.
yeah,
So future Greg has some money.
that's right. That's exactly right, and, they want to be on board and they want to know more and be better at what they're doing and wanna know some of the secrets because for the most part, investing isn't it shouldn't be secretive.
Right.
But it should also be balanced and it should be safe environment.
Yes.
And there are some really great opportunities for deferring taxes or not paying taxes, like in a tax-free savings account. And then there's also the first home savings account,
Right.
which many people don't know about because
Yeah.
that's pretty new. And it's about taking advantage of those opportunities that are there once you know that they're there. And then when it comes to a business, there's other opportunities there where you can put money away and then it would mitigate the
Mitigate
taxes
tax. Yeah.
on the long term. And but you don't know it
How do you
until you've
know it
asked
all?
those
Yeah.
questions. Exactly.
Exactly.
But I do know that. And
That's
I'm happy to share.
there you go.
Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. Very nice. So we have a segment on the show we call these three questions.
Oh, good.
Okay, because we've asked you quite a few questions already, but we're going to ask some more.
Okay, good.
All
Let's
right.
go.
So these three questions: what does 2026 look like for investors?
Oh, that's a really
Right. You got your crystal ball out. You're looking
yeah.
into
Oh.
it.
Well, I have to say for the last 3 years, this year in particular, we really pulled back a lot on our portfolios for investment in the United States.
Yes.
And we went abroad. We went international, and we actually hedged a little bit against the states. And the returns are double
Pretty good.
digits.
Pretty
They're
good.
double digits
Yeah.
this year and the last 2 years. So next year, I don't know. This year, the plan was retain your principal. That was the
Yes.
goal.
Protect.
Protect,
Yeah.
exactly.
Volatility.
Yes, I
Yes.
know.
Yeah.
But yet the markets are everybody's disgruntled, but the markets are still going.
Right.
I know.
So it's counterintuitive to
It's
the way you think if you watch the news, what you think would be happening.
absolutely it is.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen next year? I don't know. Some economists say, it's all going to crash. Um, I don't believe that because they said that was going to happen this year. And
well, every year they say that. Somebody says that.
I know. I think,
the next Great Depression is just around the corner. We hear this every year.
They're not the most positive.
No, that's what I thought, honestly.
Well, it's really difficult. I think what we have to do is we have to be able to regulate our own personal emotions and set ourselves in a safe situation for what our personal needs are.
Yeah.
And that changes from person to person, from
right.
family to family. I always say that you have to be confident that you're not overextending yourself.
Right.
I don't think that interest rates are going to rise.
Doesn't look like it.
No, it doesn't look like that.
And really, no matter what happens, your investments go down. Maybe they tank next year. You're in the long game when you're investing.
You're in the long game. With me, you're in the long game.
Yeah.
It's not a pump and dump. We don't do that.
That's right.
Venture capital was quite stressful for me, because it was speculative,
Sure.
and I don't work with speculative. We look at that longer term. We look at that future, Greg, and 10 or 20 years. And a lot of people, when they look at their plan, they're only looking at like 3 to 5 years,
Totally.
maybe 10 if they've got kids and they're gearing towards that. But I'm looking 20 years down the road.
Yeah.
And so for that, yes, markets go up and they go down, but overall you'll be safe. If you're going to retire next year, that's a different story.
And then you'd have your investments in something a little bit less aggressive.
That's correct. Yeah, much more conservative.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Okay. Question number 2. What would you like to see changed in your industry? Very competitive industry.
It is.
That you're in.
It is.
Less competition?
I don't think so. I think it's quality of competition. I think it's quality of the advice that people get. I get a little bit apprehensive when people are trading on their own on
their Quest Trade account.
Their Quest Trade, or their direct investing. And I would love for people to have a little bit more knowledge there because they do put themselves at risk. I mean, a big part of my job is protecting people from themselves.
Yes.
Right? And hey, have the play money. But, if anybody gleans anything from this, play money, 5%. That's it. So, if you've got $100,000, $5,000, that's your play money. And have at it. Have fun.
Right.
And that kind of includes Bitcoin.
Right.
Crypto.
Yes.
So it sounds like it's the best thing. And if it sounds like it's the best thing since sliced bread. Ooh.
Right. There's no silver bullet.
No, there is no silver bullet. It's about balance.
Yeah.
And it's about what are your objectives? Yeah.
Good. Okay. That's a good answer. What's your investment philosophy?
We work with a firm. It's called Harness Investments. They're based out of Toronto. So I have designated portfolio manager that I work with. So they make those day-to-day. We work on a discretionary platform, which means that we look at people's risks. If they're risk averse, it also depends on how old they are, how many years they have to invest. But my philosophy is a growth philosophy. I think we have to always be looking at growing, with the exemption, of course, if you're getting very close to retirement. And everyone's situation is going to be a little bit different.
If you're 35 and starting with a family and you have a business, very different than somebody at 55 that's looking down the barrel of retiring inside 10 years.
That's exactly right. But in the same respect, if they don't have enough money,
maybe it's going to be another 20 years.
Well, looking at that and, getting the advice to find out what you need, right? And doing a little bit deeper analysis, like how much money are you spending? How much money do you need? Because people will say, well, what do I need for retirement? Well, it really depends on what your spending habits are, how you live, what your goals and ambitions are. Do you have kids? What are some critical faults that may happen? So my philosophy is be safe and grow.
Protect what you have.
Yes.
And make more.
That's right. Yes, indeed.
All right, I got some personal questions for you now.
Oh, good.
All righty?
Sounds fun.
Okay. Do you believe in Bigfoot?
Well, I believe that we don't see everything that's real.
There we go. Okay. That's an interesting way to put that.
Yes. Thank you.
All right. That's good.
I told you I watched your podcast.
Got to get up some new questions.
Oh, no, I like it. It's good.
What's your favorite business in Bragg Creek?
Well, I just picked up something from this great little store, and it was called
The best little word house in the West.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a fantastic, fun little funky place,
It is.
and
Yeah.
they've got these great notebooks.
They do. I have one
Yes.
now. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Yeah.
They're an addiction for me, like, I come out here to buy it.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool little store.
It is, but
Yeah.
then there's also, like, a little sugar store, like a candy store.
Yes.
That's just holy smokes.
Right? Lots of retro candies
A
from like
lot.
our childhood, right?
And it's really cool. I just feel like the vibe of the little town is just so
Yeah,
great.
it
Yeah.
is very cool. What's your second favorite? You gave me a couple, but give me one more.
Well, there's a bakery on the backside there.
Oh, Mabel and
That
Marie's.
yeah.
Yep.
Anyways, that's always
Their cookies are wicked good.
yeah, they are.
Yep.
Yeah.
What'd you want to be when you grew up? Little girl growing up in Victoria.
I just wanted to be an independent woman
Yeah.
that kind of that supported others. You know, I always had this creative edge to me, and I just don't think there's only one way to do things.
Mhm.
So I like to open up people's minds to explore different ways to
Yeah.
do what they want.
Yeah. That's
Right?
exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did your parents want you to be?
Well, my father was a commercial fisherman,
Ah, okay.
and my mother was a home care support worker. And I think they just wanted me to be happy. I
Yeah.
think yeah, as far as that was concerned, they just wanted to see that I was living a full life with people that you love around you and a family that was good and growing and a community that was thriving. And yeah, that my parents were very heartfelt,
Nice.
particularly my mom. You know, she's very heartfelt and just knowing that you are just enjoying your day. And to do that for me, she gave my middle name as Joy. So I have a little joy in me.
Nice. Karen Joy.
Yeah,
That's
there you go.
fantastic. That's a
Yeah.
great story. What was your first job?
I worked at Point No Point Resort.
Point No Point Resort. Okay.
Yes. So it came by its name. When you went up the coast of Vancouver Island, there was no point. When you came south of Vancouver Island, there was a point. Nobody could agree. It was called Point No Point. So it's a fantastic little. They have cabins and they have a little tea house. So I used to serve
Cool.
food at the age of 10. Cousins, you know, it's a small town. So
Sure.
I grew up in a small town in Souk.
Awesome.
Yeah, just west
Okay.
of
Yes.
Victoria.
Fantastic little town.
Yeah, so it's just west of there, and it was great. It was a nice first experience.
Good. Good. What was your favorite job?
I think it's the job I'm doing
Yeah.
now. Well, it
That's good.
marries that creativity, it marries the money. Build relationships, and that's always been my number one.
Yeah.
You know, my personal priority is building relationships and that quote community, as I was
Right.
mentioning.
Yes.
So I think it's what I'm doing right now. I
Yeah.
feel that there's a lot of fulfillment for myself, and then the clients that I work with. I hope that they feel that I have their back.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well, you seem like a very genuine person, so
yeah.
I think that helps. Yeah.
Thanks.
Good. What was your worst job?
Well, I worked at Sauk Harbor Marina,
Ah,
right across the street from where I grew up, and I had to be there at 4:30 in the
ugh.
morning, and that was a tough go.
As a teenager? Or?
Oh, yeah, I
Yeah.
was, like,
Yeah. That would be
14,
tough for a
15
teenager.
years old,
Yeah.
15 and 16 years old. I was in the best shape of my life, let me tell you,
Yeah.
but, yeah, that was just tough, 4:30 in the morning.
Jeepers. Yeah. And what did you like? What was the job? What did you do?
Well, I had to get rental boats ready in the
Oh,
morning,
okay.
so carrying gas cans, I was, like,
Mhm.
doing a
Yeah.
little boy job, but I was, like, kind of a righteous girl. I've always been kinda righteous. If someone says, "Oh, Karen, I don't think you should do that or could do that." "Oh, yeah?"
Yeah.
So, yeah, so that's what I would do. Just not in spite, just to prove to myself that, yeah,
Sure.
you can do whatever you want.
Right. Good work ethic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What was your favorite subject in school? Don't say math.
Um,
Jim.
I actually thought I was gonna be a PE gym teacher,
Is that right?
geography and PE teacher. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I went through this international baccalaureate, and they're like, "Yeah, you're gonna be a teacher." I'm like, "No, I'm not."
Uh,
I just the institution. I'm just not so much of an institution kind of gal.
yeah. No, I get that. I
Yeah,
get that. I like geography too.
yeah,
I like drawing maps when I was a kid for some reason.
yeah. Me too.
Weird.
Yeah, and then now I like going to those places.
Even better.
It is,
Yeah.
yeah.
Have you been anywhere recently that
Yeah, we just got back from Portugal. Oh, it's been on the list for so long.
Got to get there.
Oh,
Yeah.
phenomenal. Go to the Azores Islands.
Yes.
It was,
Fantastic.
yeah, it was really phenomenal.
Talked about a lot of things.
We did talk about a lot of things.
Yeah, we covered a lot of ground.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to cover off before we
Well,
wrap up?
I would like to open it up to business owners and entrepreneurs that are looking for even a conversation. I'm happy to have that conversation with them, get them on the right track and see how we could maybe either work together, or even if they get a couple of gems that they put in their pocket for later, that gives me my personal satisfaction that you make a difference, right? You make a difference in people's lives. And I would also like to say that in Bragg Creek, and again, because I watched a few of your podcasts,
Yes.
there are a number of businesses that include family.
Yes.
And that's the intergenerational business, which is amazing and awesome. I would also caution that, there are ways that you can equalize your estate later on. When you have one child that's working in the business, there's sometimes can be an inequality to how that estate gets distributed.
Very true.
Yeah, and we don't think about it because we're like, I'm young and we're just building and all of, and it's great. Yeah, that's the whole point. You're working in the business, and when you're working in the business, you're not necessarily working on the business. So I encourage business owners to take a look at that. And again, I'd be happy to have a conversation.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Karen.
My pleasure.
Wish you the best for closing out Q4 this year, and all the best to you and Core Wealth Solutions.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Greg.
Thank you, Karen. If you would like to speak with Karen about some strategies for your family and small business, you can reach out to her on LinkedIn. The link is in the show notes below. Or you can reach out to www.corewealthsolutions.com. Have a great week.